The national level road length is increased from 37,000 2002-03 to 100,000 2011-12. Road density increased from 33.65 km per thousand in 2002-03 to 90.9 km per thousand in 2011-12. As a result, the average the national level road length is increased from 37,000 2002-03 to 100,000 2011-12. Road density increased from 33.65 km per thousand in 2002-03 to 90.9 km per thousand in 2011-12. As a result, the average 52nd meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is threats to international peace and security. The agenda is adopted. I wish to warmly welcome the distinguished ministers, and I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. With those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2017/788, please raise their hand. The adoption of this resolution today is indeed an appropriate response to the request made by the Iraqi government calling for the assistance of the international community in ensuring accountability of members of Daesh for the crimes they committed. We'd like to take this opportunity to express appreciation to the government of Iraq for all its efforts in this regard. The presence today of the Foreign Minister of Iraq demonstrates the importance that his government attaches to this matter. No doubt, ISIL or Daesh continues a global threat to international peace and security, and this doesn't require lengthy explanations. It is self-evident. Through its commission of acts involving murder, kidnapping, hostage-taking, suicide bombings, destruction of cultural heritage, Daesh has committed very serious crimes, which many amount to war crimes, crimes against humanity or genocide.
እሱ ያለው የውጭ ጉዳይ ሚኒስቴሩ ክላስሜት ነበሩ ከአክሊሉ ጋር ወይ የኔ መጽሐፍ ረስቶ ይሆናል ግን እንደነበረ እርግጠኛ ነኝ ከፎዛ ላይ በብዛት እንስፋት ውስጥ ዛልገባ የሆነው ምንድነው እሱ ወርቅነህ ገበየሁ የኛ ተማሪ ነበር በ97 ምርጫ ላይ ሰው ደውሎ ይሄ ሰው ችግር ሊኖረው ይችላል ወርቅነህ ገበየሁ ነገው ብሎ ነው እየተወዳደረ ያለው እዚህ ግን ህዝብ የሚያውቁና አባቱ እስከምናውቁ ድረስ ስሙ ሌላ ነው ይሄንን ተከታተሉ ብሎ ሰው ደወለልኝ ከሸመነ በአጋጣሚ የኛ ተባል ስለነበር ሊስቱ ምን ጋር ስላለ ሳይ ወርቅነህ ገበየሁ ነገው ሳይ ወርቅነህ ገበየሁ ወልደኪዳን ነው ወልደኪዳን ይላል ስለዚህ እንግዲህ በፈረንጁ ዓለም በጣም ከፍተኛ ወንጀል ነው ዶክመንት ፎርጅ ማድረግ ነው ዶክመንት መለወጥ ማለት የፖሊስ ኮሚሽነር የኢትዮጵያ ፖሊስ ኮሚሽነር ሆኖ ዶክመንት ፎርጅ ካደረገ ዶክመንት ከለወጠ ከደለዘ ከሰረዘ ሌላ ሀገር ስልጣን የሚያስለቅቅ ትልቅ ወንጀል ነው ያንን ነው በጨረፍታ መጻፊዎች ለመግለጽ የሞከርኩት አሁን እንግዲህ ስልጣኑ እየተጨመረ ሲመጣ አይነክንፉም የድሮ ፋይላቸውን ይዘው ወጡ እሱን እንደዛ ነው
Well, would you just pull the microphone closer to you, please? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I thank you and I'm delighted to be invited to present my testimony on Ethiopia, a country I was forced to leave some 4 or 5 years ago in opposition to Mengistu Haile Mariam's Stalinist and repressive policies. Unfortunately, however, that country has once again come under the clutches of another ruthless and Stalinist tyrant. So it's almost melodramatic. Out goes Mengistu to Harare, and in comes Meles Zenawi through London, a Tweedledee replacing a Tweedledum. The outcome of the London conference was most disastrous for Ethiopia, most destabilizing for the Horn of Africa, and most disquieting for the rest of Africa. Trouble is, the conference, if it really was a conference, suffered from one fatal structural deficiency, which in turn led to some fatal outcomes. First, the confab brought together ethnically based armed groups who are the sworn enemies of the Ethiopian nation state and have formed an alliance to dismember and tear down that very state. Those groups with a multi-ethnic base who enjoy the broad support of the Ethiopian people, the vast majority of people who do not belong to any of these political groupings, either armed or political, were pointedly and deliberately excluded. Imagine, sir, imagine, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, the PLO's Yasser Arafat sitting together with the Popular Front's George Habash to decide on the fate of the state of Israel without Israel's participation. Second, the conference also sent a signal and set the stage for Ethiopia's dismemberment through Eritrean secession. It was a blow, a dagger blow, aimed at the very heart of the integrity of the Ethiopian state system and a serious threat to the integrity of the African political order. It's no wonder that the decision outraged millions of Ethiopians all over. One cannot overstress the deep-seated, instinctive, and fierce resolve of all Ethiopians to preserve their national unity and independence. That unique independence had been defended by fierce resistance to no less than 8 foreign invasions, and that had forged a consciousness and pride of national unity and culture found nowhere on the continent of Africa. Those foreign invasions have by no means spared the territory known only in modern times as Eritrea. In fact, of the 8 invasions from the south, the west, and the south, and the north have involved Eritrea. This was scarcely surprising. For centuries, it was the political and the cultural center of Ethiopia, with the capital at Adulis, symbol of the independence which others, even before the colonial period, sought to suppress. Ethiopia, as the cultural, political, and economic sector of the Horn and its coastline of Eritrea, stood as a vast barrier to both European and Arab expansionist designs. That the people of Eritrea had, through a process of self-determination under the auspices of the United Nations, had exercised the right to determine and had determined that by deliberately and voluntarily linking their territory in federal association with Ethiopia was unfortunately, conveniently forgotten. Any future decision on Eritrea, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I would assure you, if and when it is taken, would have to be taken not by the inhabitants of one province, but by the people of Ethiopia as a whole. Thirdly, the decision to let in the TPLF, the African counterpart of the Asian Khmer Rouge, I would like to call them the Khmer Noir. Yes. The decision to let in the TPLF and occupy Addis-Ababa and grab state power was tragic and inexplicable. How an ideologically intoxicated, ethnically narrowly based guerrilla force, as Francis Le Monde did say in this morning's editorial, headed by a radical Stalinist with no experience to raise and administer a family, let alone administer a country of 50 million people, should be asked to march in and assume state responsibility is beyond me to comprehend, and I ask for divine intervention. That must be the first time when a self-declared Stalinist is sanctioned by the United States to take over state power. The upshot of all these decisions and actions is to seriously compromise Ethiopia's fundamental interests. And the country is saddled now with a Stalinist regime which is just as repressive as Mengistu Haile Mariam's. But whatever has happened, Mr. Chairman, has happened in London. And it is time to correct mistakes and move on. There is no suggestion on my part at any rate that there was any deliberate plan on behalf of Mr. Cohen or the State Department or the administration in general to put Ethiopia in jeopardy. That has never been suggested.
Manasya, manasya,